Welcome back to the 6th Gear Garage. Today we're going to look at my newest project, this 1985 4Runner that I picked up for just $2,000, and you're going to let me know if I got a good deal or not. So you guys know I've been looking for a first generation 4Runner project for a while now, and I was ready to buy one in 2020, but instead I used the money to buy this 80 series Land Cruiser because it was too good of a deal to pass up. And I've always wanted an 80 series as well. So now I finally got a chance to get my dream 4Runner, the 1985, first year of the fuel injected 22RE, last year of the solid front axle. And this one is in a little bit of rough shape. It came from here in Ohio, although it was originally from Denver. And under the hood, we see a 22RE. But look closer. 22REC. This truck is originally from California, and that probably explains why the body isn't completely rotted in every single seam like an Ohio truck would be. Spending the majority of its life out west and in Colorado definitely preserved the body. But then it came to Ohio about 5 years ago, and we all know that's where old Toyotas come to die. So you can see what 5 years of Ohio has done to this truck. And although the frame does have some surface rust on it, it is solid, it has never been repaired, and the floors are actually good as well. I was pretty happy to see that I won't have to replace all the floor panels and the entire frame like I've had to do on the 1980. But let me show you the main reason why this was only $2,000. She's knocking pretty good. We'll get back to the interior in a minute. But first, back to the garage to show you why that doesn't bother me. Because here I have a spare 22RE. This is from that old red rusty 1987 four-wheel drive that I parted out about 4 years ago. I got this running when it was still in the truck, and it runs great. All it needs is a new head gasket. And this is an engine builder RV head. And over here in transmission corner, I have a W56 5-speed transmission and the top shifting transfer case to go with it. So that's why I didn't really mind that it was an automatic. So the engine is the worst part of the truck, but there are some very good parts to the truck as well. For example, the optional 4-wheel drive altimeter on the dash. And for an old Toyota, the dash itself is actually not in bad shape, only a couple small cracks. All the vents are intact. It has the nicer steering wheel, tilt steering column. It still has the cigarette lighter, as well as an ashtray that's never been smoked in. Optional quartz clock. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a tachometer, and there's no AC. Somebody cut holes for speakers in the original door panels. The original radio is long gone. The wiring has been pre-hacked up, as well as the surround trim cut up. The center console lid has left the chat. A quick peek under the seat covers, show you that it has the usual wear on the driver's side bolster. The floors were pretty damp under the floor mats, so there may be some rust going on behind the windshield trim. Only a tiny bit of rust on the A-pillars. The headliner has seen better days. And the back seat's sort of interesting as well. It does have the original Toyota floor mats, which is kind of rare, with a little bit of wear on the driver's side. For some reason, the seat leans back at a really steep angle. I think there should be some kind of a striker or something here to stop the seat from going back that far. And I'm guessing there should be some sort of a trim piece over all these bolts to remove the top. I also need to upgrade the rear seat belts because there are no shoulder belts, only lap belts. And I'm guessing they had the top off a lot of the time because the rear speakers are these outdoor Bose speakers. And they aren't even bolted down, they're just sitting back here. But except for some small areas of normal wear, these interior panels are in pretty good shape. And now for one of my favorite things about the first generation 4Runner. The rear window still works. So this is the spare wheel. It's one of the original chrome SR5 wheels, and unfortunately, this is the only one that came with the truck. This is not an SR5 4Runner, so I'm pretty sure a 1985 in this trim would have just come with the plain steel wheels. But I went through the back and I took out all these panels. There was actually water sitting down in here. As you can see, it's not exactly weatherproof. This side's a little bit worse. I'm gonna need a trim piece for the tailgate, and the tailgate itself is starting to get a little bit nasty. A little rustier than I would have hoped for. Oh, and one more thing, listen to this. That's these tailgate hinges flopping back and forth. It looks like this clip broke, and originally it might have held those in place. I just now noticed this. This might have been female owned at one point. And the outside is pretty rough all the way around. The rear bumper is dented on both ends. A lot of stone chips that are starting to rust all the way around the quarter panels. I'm sure it's not pretty behind the rock guard there. It's gonna need a new front fender. Usual rust under the hood. Passenger fender's a little banged up as well. Both doors are getting pretty rotten on the bottom edge. It's gonna need some rocker panel work, which I know I can do. Like I said, the original OEM wheels are long gone, but it does sit on these period correct steel wheels. And the front bumper has definitely seen better days. At some point after I get everything else fixed, it's probably going to be due for a front knuckle rebuild. I don't know if this is OEM or not, but at some point it had a block heater installed on it. And the engine leaks all kinds of oil all over the place. But that's not a big deal because I will be replacing that anyways. Now, because this is a California engine, it has California specific emissions as well as a California specific ECU. So I'll have to reuse all the intake and hoses and emissions and sensors that are on the motor currently instead of what's on this motor. But here's the good part. Somewhere back there, I've got a set of rust-free doors, and one of these hoods in this stack, I think it's this dark one here, that's a rust-free hood. I've got a nice chrome grille up there. I got a few different options for some nice period correct 6-lug wheels. I've got all kinds of different options for OEM radios. I already have a set of OEM fenders, as well as an OEM chrome front bumper. So years of hoarding parts may have finally paid off. And while I love the 80 series Land Cruiser for camping and towing, it will be nice to have something to drive my family around in that doesn't get 12 miles per gallon on a good day. And last but not least, a 1985 4Runner is going to look right at home parked next to my 1985 extra cab. So how did I do for 2,000 bucks? Decent deal, or am I an idiot? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.